In 4 weeks, in about a month, I'm going to be taking a 3-month sabbatical for May, June, and July. I approached our church board in January and requested this, and they referred it to our church body with no hesitation. And then in our annual meeting, the first Sunday of February, our membership voted unanimously to grant the sabbatical. And this past week, Nicole and I had a real productive meeting with our staff, and after that meeting and the vote and then talking with the board, I've just felt very encouraged and affirmed every step of the way. And I'm really looking forward to this opportunity. You know, the concept of a sabbatical is rooted in Scripture. It comes from the idea of Sabbath, which God demonstrated for us and commanded for us. It's something we're to do every week. But there's also a broader idea that's not just once per week for a day. But in Leviticus, he actually told the people to give the ground where they grew their crops every 7th year, to take that year off. And that as a result of that rest, it would have greater yield in the years to come for practical, natural reasons, but also supernatural reasons. And for that reason, Sabbaths have been used by organizations, religious institutions to help their staff have rest and renewal and recovery. But a sabbatical isn't 3 months off. This isn't 3 months on a beach somewhere. That would be great. But it's a time for me to draw close to God for the purpose of study, other than sermon preparation, to read the list of books that I've had that's been waiting. It's for renewal. And there are a lot of benefits to a sabbatical. There are two that really are compelling to me. One is that sabbaticals are linked to longevity in ministry, and not just longevity in ministry in general, but longevity in ministry at a specific place. Nicole and I have been ministering here for 18 years, and I still feel like I'm in the first half. I'm praying that God gives me 40 years to serve here, and if a breather at this stage makes that 40 years possible, then I'm going to take that breather. The second benefit I find compelling is that it's a great preventative to burnout. Sometimes you hear about a pastor taking a sabbatical because they're burnt out. I'm not burnt out. I'm not on a razor's edge or anything like that, and I'd like to stay that way. And so I'm taking this step as a preventative to that. And so those are some general reasons that sabbaticals are healthy. I think there are two more specific to our congregation, though, that are important. The first of these that's more specific to us is that we now have a church staff. Pastor Dustin welcomes you this morning. Pastor Eric will be here up at the end of the service, and we'll encourage you to meet with one of the members of his prayer team. Isaac is currently serving with our kids, or was helping with them, and now in here with us. We have a staff and their wives that are serving alongside of us, and they need opportunities to take the lead. They need opportunities to develop. And when I first approached our board in January, one of the things that they said that made them feel great about moving forward is that they feel confident that our staff will be able to move forward, that they'll be able to step up and fill those roles. Another part of that is that Nicole and I have served here for 18 years, and for the vast majority of that time, we've been the only ones in a leadership position on staff. And so as we've added staff, it's a new experience for us, and we've struggled with what things to hand off and how to hand them off. For 3 months, we're going to have to hand it all off. And when we come back, we'll be better able to evaluate how to lead, and the staff will be better prepared to lead as well. And then the other purpose or reason that's more specific to our congregation is that in the past 4 years, post-COVID, we have really rebuilt our church. We've rebuilt our structure and our core. We've built new leadership. We've built new teams. And while that work is never done, we're at a new place and in a season right now where I feel like our church has stronger unity and structure than it has in any of the time that I've served as pastor. And having reached this place, I feel compelled to seek the Lord on what is next for Faith Church. How can I best lead us into that next season? And so my prayer through May, June, and July is that God will make that crystal clear. I wanted to give you a heads up on this so that if you have questions or you want to have a discussion about this, you'll have time. And so feel free to speak with me after the service today or next week, or reach out to me this week, and I'd love to talk to you about this and what it's going to look like and how it is actually a good thing, not just for me, but for our congregation and for our church.